Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
You can come back here and sit with me.
Great.
Okay. So how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. First off, I would like to welcome you to our office. Would you like for me to call you Melissa or Mrs. Edwards?
Melissa's fine.
Okay. Did you have any trouble finding our office today?
I didn't. No, it was actually pretty easy, and it's close to my home, so that's convenient.
Okay, that's good. Thank you for coming today to our office. I'm glad you are here. I would like to welcome you to Indie Therapy. My name is Dr. Jailins. I have been therapist for over 5 years. I went to Ivy Tech Community College for my associates and IUPUI for my master's. I went into this field after working in the office during my high school years, assisting with parents that needed translators. I really enjoyed it and that's how it all started.
Okay.
I would like to explain to you our confidentiality here at Indie Therapy. That is just to make sure that you're aware and that you understand everything that you say will be kept between us and is protected by the state. Unless there is child abuse, elder abuse, dependent adult abuse, self-harm, or harm to others, then I will have to report it.
Okay, that's fine.
And it is by law and is required.
Okay.
Okay. So, if you will go ahead and sign this,
Okay.
and we can get started, okay? Just so.
Great. There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, let's get started then. I would like to find out a little bit about yourself, so tell me about, your career.
Okay. My name is Melissa Edwards. I've been married for 29 years. I have 5 children. I have 5 grandchildren. I work at a high school. I've been there 18 years. And I've been in Indianapolis most of my adult life.
Okay, that's great. 29 years?
29 years. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is a big family.
Yep.
What do you like to do for fun or just your free time?
Yeah, I like to swim. I love to cruise. I've just recently started playing pickleball. I love doing that. I love the sun. I love being outdoors.
What is pickleball?
It's a combination of tennis, racquetball, played on just a smaller court, play outside. You don't need a lot of experience or anything, and I've just been learning it, and I really enjoy it.
That sounds fun.
It is.
It sounds like you really like being out in the sun.
I do. I love outside.
So I was able to review your initial screening, and I have a few things in mind that I feel maybe you're experiencing. Let's talk about it. Your main concern is having difficulty in sleeping at night. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So tell me a little bit about this in detail.
Well, it started about 5 years ago. I would go to bed at night, and I couldn't shut down, and I would just lay there. When I went to bed, I couldn't figure out what was going on, but I would turn off the light, I would toss, I would turn, I would get up, I would look at the ceiling. So then finally, each night it was progressing worse and worse, and so I would sometimes get up in the middle of the night, go downstairs, maybe get something to eat, get something to drink, maybe just sit for a little bit, hoping that I would get so tired that I would go back to bed and go to sleep.
Okay. So, when this started, did you have any marital issues, job issues, family problems, anything that probably concerned you?
No, nothing that I think would have caused me to not go to sleep or anything. No.
Okay.
No.
What about issues with your children? You mentioned you have children.
I do. We had some issues, just I think normal, daily, everyday life things with my daughter. I had a few things, but I don't know that that was a cause of it or not. I don't know.
Okay. So, what about issues with the...
Well, my daughter was in the Army, and she got hurt when she was in Germany, and she started having a lot of back pain and stuff, so she went to therapy, and then they gave her some pills and things like that. She did become drug addicted. We had a lot of stress. There was obviously a distance between us. She was then transferred to Texas. There was still a distance. And so there was just a lot of stress between us, but I don't really know. I personally don't think that caused my sleeping issues, because she was working through it, but I don't know, so I don't think it did.
Okay, so I agree with you that as mothers and daughters, they have issues and they have as they go through stages in their life, but I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope that things are better now.
They are. She went to drug rehab. She stayed there for over a year and a half. She did get help. She's now clean, I think 3 years out. So, but everything is much, much better now. So, and we have a really good relationship now.
So did you go to a family doctor about this?
I did. And initially I did not. Let me rephrase that. Initially I did not go to the doctor because I thought maybe it was just something weird going on with me. I don't know. And then finally, my husband said, you've got to do something. So I did make an appointment with my doctor, because obviously I needed sleep to keep going on, and because every day every day I was getting up, and I had maybe 2 hours of sleep, but it wasn't even solid sleep.
Okay. So what did the doctor advise to you?
The doctor suggested putting me on a sleeping pill, and my body's really sensitive, so anytime I take anything, even like over the counter, like Tylenol PM or any of the not cough syrups, but like sleeping syrups, it makes me feel really weird, like bugs on me. I know it sounds weird, but it does. So she did convince me to get a mild prescription, so I did get it. I took it for a couple nights, but I couldn't keep taking it. It makes me feel really weird, and I don't like to feel like I don't have control.
Okay. So what happened next after you realized that the pills weren't working? What was your next, what went through your mind?
So, at that point, my sleeping was really, really bad. I would go 3 or 4 days, and I could not sleep at all. I was exhausted. Sometimes I'd come home from work, and I could take me a little bit of a nap, but because my body was so shut down from no sleep, I never suffered at my job, but I did have to tell my boss that I was having sleeping issues, and we were trying to figure stuff out. Anyhow, she wanted me to get some testing done, like some blood work and things like that, to make sure there wasn't anything else going on.
Okay.
So,
were you ever diagnosed with insomnia, possibly?
She did mention it. We initially, and I thought, well, I don't know, because I don't know, but I possibly could have been, yeah.
So, do you know what insomnia is and what causes it?
I think it's when you don't sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is correct. Insomnia is difficulty in sleeping due to stress, anxiety, any anger, grief, amongst many other emotional and psychological issues.
Oh, I didn't know all of that.
Yeah, so they are. Do any of these things I mentioned about insomnia are similar to what you've been feeling the past few years?
Yeah, a couple of them actually.
Yeah, now that
I
you
guess
know.
when you break it down like that,
Yeah, now that you
it
know
does.
what insomnia causes
Yeah.
it. I get it. I've gone through trouble, sleeping in my life, such as, when I would go through depression, I was not able to sleep for nights also. So I understand how you are feeling, and sympathize with you. One of the things I mentioned, is that I do feel as though you have had some depression and possibly anxiety, with maybe some anger from not being able to help your daughter with what she went through, um, because she was so far away. So I mean, do you think that could
Yeah.
possibly relate to you?
I do. Like I said again, I never really thought of it that way. But when you break it down into those detailed things, yeah, I do think so.
So, what did your husband think about this?
He was really worried about me. He was frustrated. I would normally, once it started getting really bad, and I'm talking like probably a month into it, I would go into another room to sleep at night because I didn't want to wake him up.
Right.
And he just always worries about me, but he would still get up with me. He knew something wasn't right. He knew we had to do something because I was almost a zombie, but I was like a functioning zombie.
Okay.
Meaning like I could still do my daily work, but I was so tired and exhausted. But my work never suffered again, like I said, because I knew I had to keep going on. So.
Okay. So did you have any other health issues or family issues?
No, I don't think so. I think other than just the issues with my daughter, that was it.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm glad, like you said, things are getting better with your daughter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward, what were the next steps you took to try and get some sleep or figure out what was going on before you contacted our office?
After the medications didn't work, my doctor suggested that maybe I should start with things like changing my eating habits, short naps when I could take them, maybe after work, or maybe just if it was a weekend, take a short couple naps.
Mm-hmm.
Start with small changes first. So that was what we decided when I decided to stop taking the meds that I really couldn't take.
And did they help in any way?
They did. I started first by changing my eating habits.
Mm-hmm.
I started eating healthier foods. I was getting caffeine out of my system. I was trying not to eat after 6 o'clock, trying to get more water in me. Just because she said possibly that would help like my clarity of my mind and relax me. I would also come home from work and try to lay down for just like an hour, not like a long nap, because then I didn't want to mess up my sleep that was already messed up at night. So I would set my alarm and try to relax, shut my mind down. She also suggested maybe do some reading. I'm not really a reader, but I did do a little bit as I could. Just because at that point, when it was really, really bad, I just needed whatever help I could get to try to figure out what was going on.
Right. So that's great that she, advised a couple of things. So let's talk about a few things that I would like for you to also start doing along with the things you are doing now, because you are still doing them, right?
I am, yes. Okay.
So I would like for you maybe to start shutting down at least 1 hour prior to going to bed. Electronics or something, 2 hours if possible, even better. However, definitely 1 hour.
Really? Why is that?
Because, why 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Because, and so then you can go to sleep and, you won't have to think about, it's more time before shutting your phone off, what I mean? So basically, like, you won't necessarily have to, okay, 1 hour, you're like thinking 1 hour, 1 hour. Why don't you give it 2 hours? You know, because it's better, you get more time sleeping.
Okay.
But by this means, you know, just because since you say you're an administrator and keep on track with your phones and stuff.
Right.
So just no computers, no phones, cell phones,
Okay.
games if you play games.
Okay.
So next, when you go to bed at night, or even if you take a nap, I would like for you to close your eyes and just relax. Think about the ocean. Think about when you're cruising, maybe. You can like even put a video and like turn on to ocean waves or something. Just something, or you know, when you get home from playing a pickleball game, then this will start making your mind slow down a little bit. Just to think about how tired you feel when you come back from your trips, or how, you know, how relaxing it is when you cruise.
Yeah, that does make good sense, because I know sometimes, like, if you go to the gym and then sometimes you get in the, like, massaging chairs, they have that music that kind of calms you. So, yeah, that seems like some good advice.
So, once you are in bed, make sure your room is not so hot, not too cold. You know, have the right temperature, and I believe that helps you go to sleep better and calms your body. You know, so you won't be too hot, you won't be moving around, too cold, asking for blankets. So.
Right, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
Also, once you start, you know, probably writing down a few things, you would need like a notebook. And just write down things. Can you do that?
I can. Just like how my day was,
well,
things like that.
Maybe like log what time you shut, like just everything, just log everything that you're feeling through before you shut down.
Okay.
What time you close your eyes to start relaxing, and what time you go to bed. Just keeping track, just to see how much you've improved along the way. I also want you to write down what time you get up and go back to bed for the first 2 weeks, and then we will look at it and see if there's possible patterns, see what's going on with your sleep.
Okay.
So then the goal is for you to get some sleep.
Okay.
Because the problem is not you, it's the fact that something's going on probably in your system, in your life, that won't let you go to sleep.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. And then, so I'll bring that book in for you to review, and then I'm guessing we'll go from there. Like, you know, I'll make another appointment. How long should I come back in?
Yeah, and I definitely am glad that you came in.
Okay.
I know this is something hard to, you know, to deal with, because, you know, you don't get no sleep.
Right.
You have work. You have a husband, you have children, and I'm guessing you have grandchildren, like you said. So you want to have enough energy to go out throughout the day, you know, and be able to wake up with a fresh mind, and, you know, have no trouble with work. I mean, like you said, your supervisor and everyone has said that they're working with you and stuff, but it's better to wake up and not have to worry about that. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Yep. Because it does cause stress. It does. I mean, I'm stressed, and my husband's stressed, my family stresses, and then they stress me out from being stressed.
Right.
So yeah, that makes sense.
So that should help.
Okay.
Just take step by step.
Okay. See
where you're going, and you know, it might be problems that you don't really think they're problems, and we can like point those out later on. You don't have to do that now. Point them out later on, and see if it's really just, you know, the sleeping part, that's just, you know, like just something little. But I don't think it's something little. You said it's been there for a while now.
Right.
It could be that some issues, maybe, you know, whatever's stressing you out, maybe it's something in there that you don't specifically, probably don't want to point it out, but that's fine. You know, we can just do that we'll figure it out along the way, what it is.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So
then do I need to make another appointment?
Yeah. You can call us.
Okay.
When you're ready to come in.
Okay.
And
we'll do a follow-up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
See how this goes.
Great. Okay.
So
thank you. Thank you very much.
See you next time.
All right. Thank you.